Hello, beautiful world. My name is Tara Tylicki, and we're going all around the world right here from the backyard. So last time we ended up going down to South America, where we talked about being able to get the stress out with movement. And so now, as we journey up to Europe, we're going to talk about your story. So there's so many different things that you could talk about. So amazing tales in Europe. And I thought that I would focus right on my Irish roots. Though before I do that, I did want to mention that it was absolutely amazing listening to the Queen recently that was on the news, and she gave a very eloquent speech. She was talking about meditation in it as well. And I think it's amazing to be able to listen to yourself and find what's right for you too. So as we move up to Ireland, I have kissed the Blarney Stone, and it was an amazing experience to be at the Blarney Castle. And I thought that today, when we think about all the magic that's involved and what could be a part of your story, you might think with the magic of Ireland, we might be talking about getting lucky, but we actually could talk about romance and being able to be present for yourself and your journey through your life. And your life may not have a romantic theme for it in the moment right now, but you can start to change your story and develop that. So what are you looking to have in your life? What would you like to have in a big picture sense? As you're thinking further and beyond this moment right now, knowing that there is a natural healer's journey, a part of every story. And when I was in Ireland training, we were learning about also in part the healing journey, the hero's journey. And so as you're thinking about the fact that life already has enough things that happen along the journey that might be seen as negative or setbacks, it would be really good to focus on that positive and possible vision for yourself now. And so does your story end up moving forward from this point now? Does it all of a sudden have this amazing transformation for you so that you can allow yourself to head towards your dreams and your goals? You know, it's really interesting. The last week I wasn't able to film easily with the rain, and that in combination with the right feeling needing to be together with it. We had so much rain in the last week that it was as much as they say we would get in a year. And so with all that rain though, it allows the foundation of things to loosen up, and it's a great time to go weeding. Didn't think I'd mention weeding in here, do you? And I actually went around and weeded the garden because it's so much easier to pull out the things that you don't want while that foundation is loose. And so you could probably guess the story that I'm talking about with you is let's take out the stuff that you don't need in your story right now so that you can focus more on what you want, so that you can end up getting that pot of gold at the end of your rainbow. And knowing that when we have those storms in life, you have to look to the light to find that pot of gold that's there for you. So if you're able to know the story that you would like to bring in, I would love to be able to support you in being able to connect to your unconscious mind. I don't know if you know the difference between the conscious and the unconscious. It's talked about a lot nowadays. And also the reticulated activated system. So here today, I would love to be able to support you in your story as you're moving around in the world and being able to help you to have your brain actually see that even stronger. So again, talking about that rain, people might think it's a not so great thing to have rain coming down, even if it brings a lot of change. Though being able to allow your brain to be supported by seeing what this change is and to anchor it. There's a story from my NLP teacher, Matt Brawning, that would talk about when he wanted to bring more abundance in life. And one of the reasons I'm mentioning that too is because so many in their story want that abundance right now. He would help train his brain to be able to have a positive reward for thinking about and looking for money. So there's something called the reticulated activated system, and feel welcome to Google that and look into that more. And one of the things you'll notice is the reticulated activated system helps you to be able to sort for the things that it wants to focus on. There's only so much that it can focus on at any one time. So how do you change your story to bring in the things you want or more of what you want in your story? Well, you help that reticulated activated system to sort for that, and we use a positive emotion. Now why positive? Because I know there's that realistic sense that we all have within us. Why positive? Well, the unconscious mind doesn't understand no's or don'ts. As an example, to say in training, don't think of a blue tree, or maybe don't think of a blue shamrock right now. What did you do? Thought of a blue tree or a blue shamrock. So your brain, with every word that you say, is creating an image. And so knowing those images that you have to be able to support yourself and bringing your story about. So in the training, he would talk about how he would help support his brain, because the brain doesn't understand the difference between a little win and a big win. So if you have a penny or you have a $100 bill, it still sees it as money. And so what he would do is he would go around, and anytime that he would see a penny, he would actually pick it up and he'd say, "I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich." And that will anchor the energy in your brain. Now the funny thing is that I was assisting him one of the times that he was sharing this story, just helping out with the things that he needed. And when I went to a party after this, magically, I went into the grocery store and I went to a veggie packet that I was gonna bring, and there was the exact amount of change, $10, right in front of it. I thought that was a pretty amazing synchronicity. And I looked around, and I'm one of those people that if I find money, usually like turn it in. No one was to be seen anywhere. And I was like, well, if I spend it in the store, it's still giving it to the store. So I actually paid for the veggie container that I brought to the party to have fun with. And I think it's really amazing, though, that the more that you train your brain and you keep putting that positive anchor to what you want, whether it's romance, whether it's abundance, it's whatever you want in your story, the more that it'll allow it to manifest. Now this is a lot of change I'm going to have to pick up at the end of the video, though I also want to pick up knowing about your castle, because right now we're focused on being at home, and home is also supposed to be your castle. So why am I focused on the castles? Well, when I was thinking about all the amazing experiences in Ireland, I loved going to even stay at a castle that supposedly had a ghost in it. One of those amazing stories that they tell, right, and that they have throughout history. Though this is still about your story and your castle. And so this cup is actually from Disney. And as you think about Disney, where did his story come from? And how has the stories changed throughout our history as we've evolved? There used to be the princess tale where she wasn't able to, she had to be rescued, right? That damsel in distress. And then it was now changed to be empowered women that are being able to do that for themselves. And it's going to continue to evolve. I wonder where it's going to go next. And I wonder where your story is going to go next as well. So I'm just going to drink that in right now. Focusing on what you would like in your life. And I'm so excited to continue forward as we move from Europe over to Africa. And we're going to actually go through an anxiety model. So I'm excited to help support you continuing in your journey with any little tips, and I'm so grateful. So I'm excited for you. Stay magical.